the idea that the prophets from Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, might have descended from the Anunnaki, a race of advanced beings from ancient Sumerian mythology, is an intriguing hypothesis but lacks substantial historical and scientific evidence. However, for the sake of analysis, we can explore this speculative theory and examine potential connections. Speculative analysis: the Anunnaki and the bloodline of prophets. The Anunnaki in Sumerian mythology. The Anunnaki are depicted in ancient Sumerian texts as a group of deities who descended to Earth from the planet Nibiru. According to these myths, the Anunnaki were involved in the creation and manipulation of human beings, primarily to serve as a labor force. Some interpretations suggest that the Anunnaki possessed advanced knowledge and technology, which they passed on to humanity. Prophets and divine selection. In the context of Abrahamic religions, prophets are believed to be divinely chosen individuals who convey God's messages to humanity. They are often depicted as having a special connection with the divine, receiving revelations, performing miracles, and guiding their communities. Possible connections: advanced knowledge and leadership. Anunnaki influence. If we entertain the idea that the Anunnaki were real and interacted with early human civilizations, it's conceivable that they could have chosen certain individuals or bloodlines to lead and guide humanity. This could explain why prophets are often seen as possessing extraordinary wisdom and knowledge. Prophetic lineage. The connection to the Anunnaki might suggest that these prophets inherited not only a spiritual mandate but also advanced knowledge and abilities, making them suitable leaders. Genetic manipulation. Anunnaki genetic engineering. According to Sumerian myths, the Anunnaki engaged in genetic engineering to create or enhance humans. If prophets were descendants of these genetically modified beings, it might explain their exceptional qualities. Divine traits. This genetic heritage could be perceived as divine traits, aligning with the religious belief that prophets are uniquely favored by God. Cultural transmission. Anunnaki culture. The Anunnaki could have established a culture that valued wisdom, leadership, and moral integrity, passing these values down through generations. This cultural legacy could have influenced the development of prophetic traditions. Spiritual legacy. The prophets' teachings and actions could be seen as a continuation of the Anunnaki's efforts to guide and uplift humanity. Theological and historical considerations. Theological implications. Divine versus extraterrestrial. The traditional religious view holds that prophets are chosen by a divine entity, God, not extraterrestrial beings. Introducing the Anunnaki complicates the theological narrative and may conflict with core religious doctrines. Sacred texts. Sacred texts like the Bible, Torah, and Quran do not mention the Anunnaki. Incorporating them into the prophetic lineage requires reinterpreting these texts in ways that may not be accepted by mainstream religious communities. Historical evidence. Archaeological records. There is no concrete archaeological evidence linking the Anunnaki to historical prophets. The Anunnaki remain part of mythological accounts rather than verified historical facts. Genealogical records. Genealogical records of prophets, particularly in the Abrahamic traditions, trace their lineage back to historical figures like Adam and Abraham. These records are central to religious identities and are supported by religious texts. Conclusion. The hypothesis that prophets could be descendants of the Anunnaki, thus explaining their interconnectedness and divine selection, is a fascinating speculative theory. It blends mythology with religious traditions, offering an alternative perspective on the origins and nature of prophetic figures. However, this theory lacks substantial historical, archaeological, and theological support. Mainstream religious beliefs maintain that prophets are chosen by God and derive their authority and knowledge from divine revelation, not extraterrestrial ancestry. While the idea of an Anunnaki connection adds an intriguing layer to the discussion, it remains within the realm of speculative fiction rather than established historical or theological fact. Part 2 will be available soon.